What's going on, everyone? So we got reports that the Houston Rockets are interested in Rui Hachimura and Austin Reaves, and this very likely will be one of many reports. I'm sure that there are going to be several teams that are very interested in Rui Hachimura and Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves in particular, we've heard some rumors about like the San Antonio Spurs being interested in offering Austin Reaves a type of contract. Now, this could pose a problem for the Lakers. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem, but the Lakers have to retain D'Angelo Russell as much as many people don't want him. I don't really understand it. I still think he's a good player. I think there's a lot of recency bias in regards to D'Angelo Russell. People tend to forget that he single-handedly pretty much saved us in the Memphis Grizzlies series. Had some very nice games, some huge games and moments in the Golden State series. Yes, he was awful. No doubt about it. In that Denver Nuggets series. But he wasn't the only one. I mean, pretty much only like 3 guys showed up in that series. So hopefully with a full training camp, full preseason, full offseason, full regular season, he can kind of get more comfortable, find his groove, have a better understanding of where he's at. And there's not very many options out there that are better than D'Angelo Russell. Now, obviously it's the price. He's not a $30 million plus guy. I said that when the Lakers traded for him. It said he's probably 20 to 25 million. Now he's probably closer to 20 million after that performance in the final round. And I get it. It's what have you done for me lately type thing. But D'Lo is a fine player. And I do believe that the Lakers are going to retain him unless something comes along that makes a lot of sense via a sign and trade. If the Lakers can find a deal that makes a lot of sense, then I'm sure that they will explore that. But they can't afford to just lose D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura and Austin Reaves, none of them they can afford to lose because they can't replace them. They don't really have money to go out and replace these guys. Now, they could if you let D'Angelo Russell go, depending on how much you sign Reaves and Rui for, and you basically renounce everybody else. The Lakers could clear up about 14, 15 million in cap space. But who are you going to get at that price that's more valuable than D'Angelo Russell with his scoring, his playmaking, his ability, at least in the regular season? Because you still got to get through 82 games, right? Even if he has his struggles in the playoffs, you still have to get to the playoffs. And he doesn't seem to struggle in the regular season. He was huge for us throughout the regular season. Shot 50% from the field, 42% from 3, 17 points. He's basically a 17, 5, and 6 guy. That could be very valuable for the Lakers going forward. But with these guys and their youth, they're young, they're talented. All these guys are going to likely attract fielders. There are going to be teams and several teams that have money that are going to want to try and acquire these guys, even if it's just to get them off the Lakers, right? If you can make the Lakers worse and make yourself a little better, you're going to do it. And that is something that I think could arise a problem, right? Now, when you're talking about Austin Reaves, he is the least likely to go anywhere. Austin Reaves, I believe, fully will be a Laker unless something crazy comes along, right? Like if Damian Lillard does become available and the Portland Trailblazers are willing to trade him, but you have to include Austin Reaves would be gone in that case. But in reality, very likely that's not going to happen. So Austin Reaves, I don't think is going to go anywhere. The Lakers can match any contract that Austin Reaves is offered. There is concern about if he is given a max, right? Because he can get basically 4 years, around $100 million, which if a team is willing to offer that, that becomes an issue because what will happen is that'll be a poison pill contract. So his first 2 years will be, roughly 12 million. And then it just has this huge jump, this huge gap, huge spike. And the issue with that is that's when LeBron leaves and other guys' money comes off the books, which could arise an issue of getting another star to replace LeBron James and kind of building and keeping a potential contender around. That's where the problem lies with Austin Reaves. But I do believe the Lakers will match whatever it is, and you do that and you figure it out from there. You hope that Austin Reaves, by the time he is eligible for that $25 million or so a year, that he is that level of a player. He's not that right now. That doesn't mean he can't be there. Now, you got to keep in mind with Austin Reaves, he had an incredible back half of the season and incredible playoffs. But what will he look like this year is going to be a huge factor because there weren't teams scouting Austin Reaves. He wasn't on the reports heading into games. Like we need to stop D'Angelo Russell. That's why, like the Memphis Grizzlies, what did they do? They were trying to hone in D'Lo. It's what the Denver Nuggets were doing. Everyone was trying to go after D'Lo because he was the third guy, right? Slow down Anthony Davis, slow down LeBron James, slow down D'Angelo Russell. What happens when teams go, okay, who cares about D'Lo? Who cares about everyone else? Like, let's stop Austin Reaves from going off. Stop LeBron, stop Anthony Davis. That becomes a thing. Paul George, in one of his recent podcasts, even talked about this and even touched on it and said, how different it is. He was talking about being a number one option, but still, the conversation was about when you find out that you're on the scouting report and teams are actually game planning to stop you, it becomes a completely different game, right? And with the new rule changes and things that they're trying to implement, will Austin Reaves still get those ticky-tack fouls and stuff? Will he still get all those little, fake outs that lead to, the James Harden effect, right? Does that carry over? Or do refs start getting a tighter whistle with him? And does that affect and impact his game? Because if he doesn't become a $25 million a year guy, well, now he's severely overpaid. And it ruins any future flexibility that they may have for Austin Reaves and to build a contender around him and the rest of the core. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. And it is one of those things like when you get to that point, you figure it out, right? Like if he isn't a $25 million guy, but he's like an 18 to 20 million, would a team maybe be willing to take him? Or do you just kind of ride it out until the contract? So again, there's options. I don't think it's a huge concern. It's kind of the least on the list of concerns, but it is something that at least worth just mentioning and talking about. As far as Rui Hachimura, he could be the most likely player to be gone. I hope not, because I really do think Rui Hachimura has a world of potential still. I think he is very valuable for the Lakers. He was one of the few guys that was not afraid of the moment when it came to the playoffs and played even better. And I do think with the right development, the right growth, the right opportunity, he can continue to be very good. Now, the Lakers can match any offer for Rui Hachimura as well. And I do believe that the Lakers will, to a point. You sign Austin Reaves, let's say, to $100 million, and then a team offers Rui $100 million. Again, he's not a $100 million a year guy. Could he get to that point? Maybe, but he's not at the moment. So what's the cutoff for the Lakers? And does the team overpay Rui in the hopes that he reaches that potential for that contract? Because you're going to have teams that are going to have to reach the cap floor. You're going to have teams that are going to need to, spend X amount of money. And that could be where guys like Rui Hachimura get paid. And also the opportunity. He's very likely not going to start with the Lakers because he is best at the 4 spot, right? He can play 3, but he has a hard time defensively against the more twitchy type of 3s. He's best guarding the bigger, bulky, the Aaron Gordons of the world, right? Rather than the Mikal Bridges of the world. And you've seen his struggles throughout the season as well as even in the playoffs when he has to guard smaller guys or guys that are just quicker, right? He's not very quick on his feet. He's super strong, super tough, super durable, but he is a guy that needs to be effective defensively, needs to be able to defend a certain type. So chances are he's probably not going to start. And if that becomes a thing, or if he falls out of, or if he thinks he's going to fall out of the rotation again or stuff, or a team like Houston says, hey, if you come to us, we guarantee you'll start. Does he start kind of trying to swing that way and go, you know what? I could sign here, or I could go to you and I could start with you. Again, the Lakers can match whatever it is, so you might not really have a choice. But if you get a guy that doesn't really want to be there, does that become a thing? Or can you work out a sign and trade, right? Like, how bad do you want them? The idea is hopefully they don't lose these guys for nothing if it comes down to them potentially losing these guys. Now, again, Rui, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I don't think a team is going to offer him 4 years, $100 million. But would a team offer him 4 years, $72 million? Right now it's like $18 million a year. Like, yes, he's really good, but are you willing? If you're the Lakers, are you willing to overpay for Rui Hachimura? Because you also don't want to hit that second cap apron because it essentially hard caps you. It makes it so you have no way, no flexibility to get better. So the last thing the Lakers want to do is to be at that apron, and you have no real way to upgrade and get better if things aren't going well at like the trade deadline or something, or, you know, a marquee guy gets bought out and waived, and it's like, oh, we could get this guy. Oh, wait, no, we can't, right? That could be a big factor. But I'm not super concerned about Rui Hachimura. However, it is something that, again, is at least worth talking about and should bode some concern going forward. It's going to be interesting. And then D'Angelo Russell, again, I know a lot of people feel a certain way about D'Lo, but he's fine, right? He was great in the Warriors series, great in the Memphis series. Consistency would be nice, absolutely. He wasn't the most consistent guy, but that also comes with experience and repetitions. It's not like he's been a year in and year out playoff guy, right? He's had some moments, he's had some years where he's gotten in the playoffs, but for the most part, he's kind of been all over the place, hasn't really had some stability, where if he goes to the Lakers or he stays on the Lakers, I do think he can start getting more comfortable, especially if he gets, you know, a 4-year deal. Okay, this is where I'm going to be the next 4 years. You're not trying to play for a contract. You're not trying to play for, you know, yourself. You're trying to play within the team. You know, you have, instead of, you know, 10 games to figure it out, you have an entire training camp and preseason and off season and all of those things. It becomes a different thing, right? He might get more comfortable in his role. He might have a better understanding of his role, and that could be a factor in his level of play going forward. But Lakers have to keep D'Lo. They have to. Now, the problem is that D'Lo can, if he wants to, go anywhere he wants, right? Lakers have his bird. They can sign him for whatever he wants. But does a team come in and say, we'll give you, you know, $50 million over 2 years, right? Or we'll give you $100 million over 4, and the Lakers are like, you know, we're more 80 for 4. The Lakers really want to pay that extra $20 million to keep D'Lo. You almost have to, because again, you can't replace him. It's not like you let D'Lo go and now you have $30 million in cap space, right? If that was the case, then it's like, sure, try to go make a push for Kyrie instead or something like that, or go get Fred VanVleet or whatever, right? But the reality is it's not how it works, right? If the Lakers lose D'Angelo Russell, then they just lost a 17-5-6 guy that they can't replace, that they can't. And so where are you going to get that production from? You know, like, again, like, he is another viable player. He's another guy that can have an impact on the basketball court. He's a guy that can play on the ball, off the ball, shoot the ball, 3-level scorer, right? Like, he is valuable. But if other teams start getting into the Lakers stew here, it could cause some real issues. I hope not. I hope it's pretty straightforward. I hope it's as simple as the Lakers offseason, you know, Friday we open and boom, it's like, hey, here's the offer for Rui, here's the offer for Reaves, here's the offer for D'Lo, everybody signs, all is right, and now we can go focus on the next step, going and getting free agents, trying to figure out a trade, whatever, right? I hope it's as simple as like, here are the guys, let's lock them up, let's get them signed, boom, we're good, we're done. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Just something that I wanted to talk about and touch on. When I saw the report about the Houston Rockets, I was like, this is something that we definitely need to talk about, because this is something that probably going to see a lot of, and it is something that could throw a wrench in the Lakers offseason. So, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments below.